So, Dan is from Massachusetts.
Here in
He's
Boston.
here. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm still learning. Dan is still learning. It's been a long day. Um, so you went from being, having deer in your neighborhood to being like, where's all these ticks coming from? We need to figure out how to get rid of these, and there's nothing out there on the market. So that's what you did.
Right, right, and we're still doing it. But
Still doing it, still improving it. You got plans for the future?
yeah, we have a big launch for the a variation of TickEase coming up in late 2017. It'll be called TickEase to go, and it'll allow you to easily carry TickEase with you safely and conveniently, so you'll never
That's
leave home
awesome.
without it.
That is awesome because like having a pokey part of my tickies and my camera bag was not very convenient, but so
Right.
I'm glad that that need is becoming met. Just kind of as what we've talked about already. Um, so we people have pets. They get ticks as well. You got the armpits. You got the in between the toes. Anywhere cracks, any kind of moist
Right.
areas.
Crevices. You know what?
Crevices is a better word than cracks.
Right. And you know what Tickman Dan says?
What does Tickman Dan say?
Don't neglect your crevices.
That's what you need to put that on a shirt.
I will, but Tickman Dan, don't neglect crevices, and it is a battle cry that everyone who lives in a tick endemic area should repeat daily, because it will remind you that the importance of doing daily tick checks, and you should get that into your routine. Yourself, your kids, and your pets. Daily tick checks can save lives and can help prevent Lyme disease, plus a whole host of other really nasty infections.
Awesome. My dad says that. Hold on. Beta has to
See?
be guard dog. My dad says that he really likes your shirt.
Well, that,
Because
I,
literally ticks have been our whole life as him being a forester. Um, let's see. We to prevent ticks, do tick checks. Or we've talked about like the NIP stages of ticks, how they're just so tiny you can't really wash them off or find them. Um, what do you suggest to do? Like what do you personally do for your pets to prevent ticks besides just the daily tick checks? You do anything else? I know you mentioned you've done like you have some kind of fabric like
mhm.
bandanas. Is that something you suggest to other tick owners to
Yeah,
use?
I do highly recommend the permethrin treated bandanas for dogs. They also have jackets that dogs can wear, and permethrin is by far um, the best. It's not just a repellent; it's called an acaricide, and that actually will kill the ticks.
Oh, cool.
Permethrin's been around for a long time. There's a company by the name of Insect Shield that makes
Mhm.
these lots of different types of apparel for dogs, and it's not metabolized by cats. So one thing is
Okay.
you should never expose your cat to it. Although casual use on your dog is not going to create any real bad effects from um, the on your cat. But
Yes.
insect shield is something that you should look at, um, and they are used as an additional layer of protection, not as a replacement for your flea and tick control. And
Gotcha.
what I mentioned earlier, I don't know if people could hear it,
Go
but when
ahead and
dogs
repeat
are
it.
going through the brush and they're head down
Mhm.
like a torpedo through the grass, that's when a lot of the ticks will get on them, and they'll get on under the chin and
Yes.
on the chest. So with the bandana, it basically, and this is not a treated bandana, although I
Mhm.
would be perfectly
You
willing
always
to.
have to have a bandana, or as we call a hanky, in the back pocket.
Yes, of course. So the dog will wear it like this. And if you
Mhm.
think about it, probably 90+% of ticks that get
Yeah.
on dogs get on here. So if the ticks actually come in direct contact with this material that's treated with permethrin, they will fall off and eventually they'll die. It could be a quick thing depending on how long they've been exposed to it, or it could be a slow, painful thing. And slow, painful deaths for ticks is not, something we encourage, we like. So, so that's one thing. That's just sort of an added layer of insurance or protection for your dog. The other things, and I really don't know a lot about prevention. I've used the front lines and I've used the collars.
Yeah, as a pet product influencer, I have gone through a lot of them. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, it's kind of hard for me to tell if they're working or not, because you
Mm-hmm.
can't just like put them in a whole bunch of ticks.
Right.
But I mean, there's people who've used like essential oils. Only Natural Pet is a brand that is kind of iffy with my vet's not too sure about their products, but it's mostly a combination of things to use. But I would use them as an additional. We use Simparica, which is prevents against fleas and ticks, and it's very affordable. For both of them, it's like $30, and they're
Right. Well, there's one
10 and
thing that
13
I
pounds.
have
So
heard good things about is something called Seresto, and
yes,
I have nothing to do with these companies. I'm
I
just
actually have a T-shirt. I was thinking about wearing it, but I haven't used them yet,
hmm
or if any. But I've heard good things about them. I haven't heard
yeah,
any complaints.
yeah.
There's
I
no
just
stink. It's just a collar. The only thing is it's an extra collar that you have to deal
and
with.
it's expensive, but it does. It's supposed
It
to last
lasts long.
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is that the chewables. I'm
Yeah.
not a
The
big fan.
Simparica is a chewable. So
Yeah, I just think that that's a little strange, but
yeah. That's a whole nother thing to it's what product to use, and that goes with what you believe in that you want to treat your dog with, and
right.
also your need, because right now we don't have much of a need for it, so they're the chewable is working for them. So, but
Okay.
well, that's with fleas, but we've had a product from Only Natural Pet that was just like a tag. It's supposed to have some kind of energy, and this cat is allergic to fleas and has not had any issues. So who
Yeah.
knows? You never know with these things.
Yeah, I think that's is that called scalar? Is it a scalar energy piece, metal disc that they
It's a
wear around
metal.
their neck?
It's some type of metal disc, and she's been wearing it for I don't know how long now, and
Yeah.
she hasn't had any issues with fleas or ticks for that matter.
Well,
So,
whatever works.
but
That's great.
like the topical stuff with Only Natural Pet, if y'all wanna try these products, I do have affiliate links on my website. If you look under coupon codes, and I get a little cut, and there's a usually a coupon code for you to use. Side note. But
Great.
it just smells like something you would use yourself, like
hmm
some kind of insect repellent. So it could you might be like vacationing to somewhere in the south and you're worried to death about ticks and you just like want to spray it on. It's not going to cause any harm to just add a little bit more.
Sure.
And of
Sure.
course, do your regular tick checks. Check your crevices.
And don't neglect your
Don't
crevices.
neglect your crevices. We actually have a. I told you that I go to animal control. We actually have one of the fellow animal control officers interested in the TickEase
Oh, good.
because
Well,
of just to use it in animal control. So that's really neat. Hi Jeff, how are you doing? Okay, so we talked about if the pet does get a tick, we got the big scoopy side for the really engorged ticks, and
hmm
but we would not suggest using the sharp pointy part for your pets just because it can stab the pet, and that's not good. Okay, so you took the tick off your pet,
hmm
whether it's big, whether it's small. What do we do now? What do
Well,
you do?
I love burning them. I
Oh,
mean, that's
burning
a lot
them.
of fun. Yeah, they burn and then they'll sizzle for a little while and they'll pop. And
Oh,
that gives me a lot of pleasure actually. Um, but
Daddy, if you're watching, what do you think about that? That's a new thing. We usually flush them down the toilet. At least that's what we used to.
yeah, I mean, You know,
That's not as
sometimes
fun
they,
as burning though. That's a new one. I'm gonna
yeah.
try that next time.
Or you could put them in some rubbing alcohol,
Mhm.
and and then flush them. Sometimes, I mean, I've heard people say that they think that a tick could possibly survive the flushing situation. And
Like a rat going up a
yeah, I
going
guess
up the toilet. Can you
something
imagine
like
that little tiny tick just trying to go up?
I can, and I do often, believe me. So,
And
uh,
then gets in your crevices.
yeah, that
And
particular
then that
crevice.
just keeps going on and on.
Oh my God, please. You could do a movie on that, a horror film. But yeah, so if you do, when you do remove the tick, you can put it in rubbing alcohol. That'll kill it.
Mhm.
Um, you know, flushing. I know a lot of people do flush them, but somebody once said, "Hey, I wonder if the tick can survive being flushed."
Mhm.
There's options too. I work with the University of Massachusetts up here, and they have a tick testing program. But I know, most of the people that have dogs in my area get so many ticks that if they tried to pay for a
Yeah,
tick test,
it's
they'd
true.
go broke. But if you do find one on yourself, and you don't get a lot of them, you can always send that tick in to get tested, and
Mhm.
they'll tell you what kind of tick it is, first of all, and if it was harboring any dangerous germs. So
Now,
that's another option.
yeah, I've heard like if you find a tick on your pet or whatever, keep it like in a jar, and if any kind of symptoms appear, and then you should send it in for testing
Yeah,
just
well,
in
that's what I
case.
do, but
Yeah.
it's a little different with animals. Like I
Mhm.
said, dog ticks are more of a nuisance rather than a danger.
Okay, so
So no, no,
you don't have the same dangers as you would if the tick bit a person, or
if a deer,
a
if it's a
deer
deer
tick
tick,
or a dog tick.
a deer tick is different than a dog tick in that it harbors many, many more dangerous
Mm,
pathogens. I'm
okay.
not saying that a dog tick isn't dangerous. They can
Mhm.
be a vector for certain things like Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Ehrlichia, and some other pathogens. So don't rule it out. But yeah,
Mhm.
up in my area, I, you know, I'm more concerned. I would be definitely more concerned if it were a deer tick rather than a dog tick. So keep that in
Gotcha.
mind. So if a deer tick bites a person, I always tell people to save it. Or even, any tick bites a person, save it in a little Ziploc bag. You can write your name on it, write the date that you removed it,
Mhm.
how long you think it might have been in you, and where you think you got it. Then I tack them on my bulletin board in my kitchen.
How many you got up
So
there right now?
let's see. You want me to show you?
Sure. Let's see your
All
tick
right.
bulletin
Let's take
board.
a walk. Let's take a little walk. I don't know if I can turn the camera around.
I think you can. It should be like a thing with a couple arrows.
Can you see them?
Yeah. So you got little
Wait a
baggies
minute.
of them.
There's arrows? Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Those are my ticks. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's been a slow year so far.
So that's within a year that you've kept the ticks that have bitten you.
Yep, yep. Those are
Okay.
there's little ones in there and there's bigger ones. So I wasn't kidding. See? I'll turn the camera back around so you can see me. So yeah, you have to be real careful, and that way, if I should decide to, here's something that I also want to show you that I snuggle up with. This is my tick blanket. It's very soft and cuddly.
Cuddling with a tick blanket.
Cuddling with my favorite female.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
can you show your tattoos again?
I can. I think that was an Allman Brothers song, wasn't it?
I don't.
So there's a deer tick and a Lone Star tick on my leg.
The Lone
So
Star one's the one on the bottom, right?
bottom, yeah, the Lone
Okay.
Star has a characteristic little white dot on its back.
Okay.
The adult deer tick, female deer tick, will have an orange coloration, and the male deer ticks will be all black and smaller.
See, Odette said, okay, you get a shirt with a big tick on it and don't neglect your crevices, and he'll buy it.
Okay. And also I have one on my arm, and this watch
Oh
goes
yeah, it ticks.
tick, 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 tick.
I love that. I love puns, so I was tickled on all that.
Okay.
Let's see, what other questions do I have? So with when you I'm gonna go back to pets. So a deer tick bit one of my pets. What kind of things should I look for if what kind of things should I look for? Who should I be worried about? Because I know
Okay.
if and also you said how to differentiate between dog tick and a deer tick on my dog.
Right, right. Well, dog ticks are much bigger.
Okay.
So, and you can look on, there's a lot of good websites for identification. Tick Encounter resource, so it's tickencounter.org is an excellent
I think
resource
I have a
for,
deer
I,
tick on the stream we're doing. I think it's right under tick. The
okay,
word tick. So that's
okay.
a deer tick. I
Yeah,
looked it
and
up.
dog ticks have different colorations. The females tend to be like coffee colored a little bit, but they're bigger,
Mhm.
and they have a little shield on the back that is kind of lighter. The
Okay.
males are kind of. I
I
wish I had.
see it. I'm pulling up a photo.
Yeah,
I'm learning how to do things. Um,
awesome. But on
it
my
looks like
website,
it has like yeah like a lighter looking as you said shield.
yes. The on my website there'll be TickEase.com. You'll also see information how to identify ticks in North America as well.
Awesome.
And so if your dog gets bitten by a deer tick, the chances of it getting infected are higher than with a dog tick on any of the pathogens. Just because it
Mhm.
carries more germs in it. A lot of people will describe the onset of illness in pets as being a little lethargic, maybe losing appetite, drinking more
Okay.
water, painful joints, just not as active anymore. I mean, people really know their pets, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, if they begin to display unusual behavior, then that's certainly a sign that you want to talk to your vet.
So especially if you like even every day going outside, you need to be careful. But especially if you're like go out on a random hike, do your tick checks. If you do find anything, if it's a deer tick, especially to just kind of maybe watch and keep an eye on your dog
Mm-hmm.
if anything happens, and then you have that specimen that they can test for you to make
Sure.
sure. And
Yeah.
that eliminates a lot of different things that they don't have to test for.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, we're pretty much near the end of this. I just want to ask, like you touched on this before, like the future of TickEase. So there's a TickEase to go that you mentioned.
There
You give
is.
us any
Actually,
other information about that?
you're going to be very lucky in that I'm going to show it to you. And
Got an
see,
insider look.
you are the first person, so don't show this to anybody else.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. You are the first. This is a debut. I wasn't going to do this. So here is the regular tickies. And these are the sharp tips, which have to be sharp, as I mentioned, so that you are able to
Mhm.
remove nymphal stage deer ticks safely.
Right.
Though, because they're sharp, you risk, poking yourself. You don't want to do that. So
I've
what
stabbed
I've
my
done,
sister a couple times.
well, that was on purpose, I'm sure.
I was on accident. She's like, "Dang, got hurt." I'm sorry.
All right. So what we
That
see
is so
here
cool.
is we have a key ring, and this will have a little clip on it. This is
Yeah,
a prototype, but we are officially patent pending, so I am okay to show this to people. So
that's
no
awesome.
one can legally steal my design.
Right.
And what happens is you put this on your key ring. It's about the size of one of those mini.
Yeah, it looks like a little multi-tool.
Well, it's a little smaller. I mean, here's a standard pen.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
it's quite small,
Mhm.
and it fits very easily in your pocket. And if you're out camping or hiking and all of a sudden you got a tick, or you need the sharp tweezers for something, you simply
Pull it
unfold it
out.
like this, and now
That is so awesome.
you have the tweezers.
Yeah.
And then if you find one on your pet, you then unfold the the scoop side.
I can say is already you're gonna get more sales on that than your regular one.
And what you
That's
have here
definitely, yeah,
is the same tool,
yeah.
but now it's to go, and it will
That
go.
is awesome. I really think you're gonna get a lot more sales from that, especially because you have the outdoorsy people who are getting ticks and they like I said, it's a dangerous tool in your pocket to be carrying around. That's
Right.
perfect.
Right.
That's perfect. Good job.
Thank you. I'm excited. And it'll come in the same package
Mhm.
as TickEase, and then there'll be a combination pack that you can get regular TickEase for the home and
Stickies at
TickEase to
home.
go combined.
That's so great. I think you've answered all of my questions. Let me check real quick if anybody. My dad says put me down for a pre-order,
You
and
got it. You got it.
and he also, of course, I think the only person watching is my dad, but I appreciate it. But he's really he's a tick guy too. He's a tick magnet. Um, he asked, does he ever have folks freak out and slap his leg about your tick tattoos?
No, they slapped me in the face, but that only happens at the singles bars. Uh, no, it, fortunately, actually, if ticks were as big as the ones on my leg, we would have a lot less Lyme disease because of people would know that they were on them. But yeah, I've had a few jokesters, whack
Yeah.
me in the leg and say, "I got it, I got it."
Oh, we also have Jeff from Animal Control watching as well. Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Again, if let's see, I'll extend this till about 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. tomorrow for everybody to share and watch it, most of it at least. And you can always, if you have questions that we didn't answer, type them in the comments, and we'll get Dan right on it to answer your questions.
Absolutely.
And we will pick a winner randomly. It's probably gonna be Jeff if nobody else comments.
Well, good.
So anyway, y'all share the video, get it out there, and of course this also helps pets and people preventing Lyme disease and all that other nasty. What other kind of stuff do ticks even spread besides I always hear Lyme disease,
Oh,
but
yeah. Well,
there's
Lyme
a
disease.
bajillion in there.
Well, there's everything, and I probably won't even get them all remembered. But you have a couple of different varieties of the Lyme bacteria. You have the Borrelia burgdorferi, which causes the regular Lyme. Then there's a Miyamotoi. Then there's a Mayoni. Then you'll have things like anaplasmosis, Babesia, Powassan virus, tularemia, Bartonella, which is cat scratch fever, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, relapsing tick fever. You have tick-borne encephalitis.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. So you can get all these from one bite. So it is a dangerous thing. It's the biggest infectious disease concern in the U.S. right now is tick-borne illness.
I was gonna bring out I have a possum plush, but possums do eat ticks, correct?
They do.
Okay, yeah, that's just one of those memes out there. I'm just gotta ask the tick expert about that.
Yeah. If you find a possum, give them a hug.
I love possums. I almost had a pet possum, but my mom
Well,
made me drop it
they
off.
look like big rats, and I know you like rats.
Yeah, and this one was just like this big, and it hissed at me once, and then it literally fell asleep in my arms. So
Oh,
it was adorable.
that's cute.
So yeah, don't dish your fellow possums.
Right.
They're doing a good job.
They are.
Um, okay, well, I think that's it. Dan, do you want to mention anything? I mean, of course, go to
No, no.
tickeys.com and
Yeah,
chestnut
TickEase.com.
mugs.
I have a toll free number. It's 855 Tick Ready. So you can give me a call if you have any questions, or if you want to take an order, place an order. I can provide those permethrin treated bandanas through the phone orders only, but TickEase can be purchased on the website. And it's just a great tool to have around.
Yeah,
And even
it
if you
really is.
don't use TickEase, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, you got to buy TickEase. That's the only thing. If you have a nice set of pointy tweezers, that's the best way to do it. Even if they're not TickEase. So that's my recommendation.
It's just more convenient. You got both of the ends and
Right, exactly.
got all that you need. So yeah, in the description you can also see my original review of TickEase when we actually went to Animal Control, Jeff. I don't think you probably remember me going there because that was back in November or something. Before, no, it was before then. Before I started
Yeah,
being a regular.
right. It was great. It was a great review.
Yeah, and thank you. And it works really well. I'm just gonna do a quick review of it. Just the dogs, I swear they didn't even care. They didn't even notice I took a tick off of them. So it's great for dogs. And my dad, if you can look on Chestnut Forestry, I shared it on Chestnut Mutts. He had a tick in his armpit. We just pulled it right off. Of course, it took a little time because that was like my first time trying to get a tick off a human with the tickies. And Dan instructed me I needed to go a little bit closer to the skin, then just pull right
And
up,
squeeze firmly and lift
squeeze
straight out.
firmly.
Straight out
Yeah,
is the key.
yeah. So I love tickies. It's the best. I've tried tick twisters and they seem so painful for the animal. And so I love tickies. It's the best. I've tried tick twisters and they seem so painful for the animal.
Hmm.
And it's ugh. And like you said, it's just it's not as effective as tickies and
Right.
um
It's just not
so
necessary to twist, and that's what
no,
everyone will tell you, not just me and you, but everyone will
yeah,
tell you. Look it up.
yeah.
Never twist or jerk the tick out. That's verbatim from the CDC website.
You got to make sure you get all of that out so that it doesn't cause any more nastiness. So
Yes.
I think we're done here.
Great.
Thank you, Dan, for uh, coming by and letting me
Thank
interview
you.
you. And of course, people look at the giveaway. You got many chances this video, and there's also a photo of my dog balancing a Tickies. If you don't, hold on, I got Ticky's photo. They're right there. I got Ticky's photo right there. I know you can't see it, Dan, but that really pretty photo I took of it.
Great.
Jada balancing it with Bailey the tick in the background, trying to avoid her. So if you comment on that photo telling me why you need Tickies, again, you don't have to be very specific. Just say, hey, I would really like to try this out. You get an entry. If you comment on this video, you get an entry. You go and comment on my Instagram, you get an entry. Tumblr, Twitter. You got a lot of chances here.
Great.
um, Dan has a post on Chewy coming out.
Yes. Tick Man
That
Dan.
Tickman Dan is writing a post on Chewy about ticks and pets, just kind of a generic, not generic, but an introduction to that type of what you can do as a pet parent, what
Right.
you should do. So,
Excellent.
and I'm not helping, but so I believe that's it. There's probably gonna be more Tiggy stuff in the future because we love working. Gotta put my hands the right way. Love working with Dan on his product, his great product. So
Thanks so much. I
thank you.
enjoy working with you as well.
Well, everybody, y'all have a great day and thank you for stopping by.
Oh, and
See ya.
Abby,
Yes,
don't
yes.
neglect your crevices.
Don't neglect your crevices, everybody.
We'll see you later.
Bye bye, y'all.
Bye.